What's going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal SpazPhoenix, the YWC reality check, here with a fantasy booking video. Oh yes, we haven't done this kind of video in a long while, have we? Partially because a lot of people aren't fans of when I do videos like this. But whatever, before I get into this video, check out the winners of the YWC Appreciation Money in the Bank Lottery. John, also known here as VocalAggression, and Preston, also known here as the 619 Loyalist, who I'm sure is pretty damn happy after his boy came back this week on Raw. Of course, speaking about Rey Mysterio. Saw his markout video. His markout video made it onto no DQ, so he must be doing something right. So go check out John, check out Preston, tell him I sent you. How about that? This, ladies and gentlemen, because so much is going on in the WWE right now that could lead to SummerSlam, this is my SummerSlam fantasy card. Oh yes, I didn't have very many restrictions when I did this because really, even though it's only a couple weeks away, we only have one match set for this show, and that's Lesnar versus Triple H, and even that, kayfabe-wise, hasn't been announced, but, you know, they've already sent out all the Triple H versus Lesnar SummerSlam posters and paraphernalia and memorabilia and whatnot, so, you know, put 2 and 2 together, it's not going to make 5, I hate to tell you. But these matches, I'm sure not a lot of people will agree with. This is just what I want to see. This isn't me standing up on my high horse, I should be a WWE writer, this is what they should do, and if they don't listen to me, I'm going to cause a riot or go shoot up Titan Tower. No. This is just me having a little bit of fun, guys. Don't take it too seriously. These are the matches that I would like to see, and this is why I would like to see them. First and foremost, on the pre-show, because I know not everybody watches the pre-show anyway, so they're really not going to care, I would have Big Show and Brodus Clay cap off their rivalry. Why? Spaz, I thought you didn't like big man matches. Well, I don't. But if you have this sort of wrecking ball mess of a match, once in a while it could be fun. Show and Brodus Clay, I don't really want to see either of them on the pay-per-view, so sliding them both onto the pre-show to face each other means they're not wasting anybody else's time and they're not wasting valuable pay-per-view slots. But, you know, give them 5 or 10 minutes in the ring, let them run into each other like two angry retarded bulls, and we could have some amusement for 5 or 10 minutes, whatever. Next, on the actual card now, would be Christian versus Tensai, and no, I'm not incredibly a fan of Tensai either, but Christian is young in this current Intercontinental title run. We need to get... I don't know how to say this. We need to get a few large speed bumps under his belt before he goes into the next sort of legitimate feud, which is why I disagree with most of my friends out there, who I do respect a lot, but I disagree with people that say they want to see Christian versus Daniel Bryan right away. Because Christian, as I say, young in his run, let him get a couple good speed bumps under his belt, let him get some momentum behind him before you put him into the next big rivalry. Tensai for sure isn't going to win. Christian will go in there and make him look like the big goof that he is, and everybody will go home happy. Next, Cody Rhodes versus Santino Marella for the United States Championship. Why? Well, let's just think about it for real. Santino doesn't need a belt. Santino should never touch gold again, as far as I'm concerned. He can goofball his way down to NXT, to FCW, or to the unemployment line, as far as I'm concerned, but whatever. 2, Cody Rhodes could do for the U.S. title what Ziggler did for the U.S. title, what Cody just finished doing for the Intercontinental title, bring it back up to prominence, make it something that could mean something again, and all the wrestling fans that have been clamoring for something like that could definitely get behind Cody Rhodes in that scenario. Now, next, for the Divas Championship, Layla in a triple threat match defending her title against Eve and AJ. Why Eve and AJ? Because these are the two divas that have taken themselves completely out of their division, and by doing so have become bigger than the division. Eve has had FaceTime with, you know, Kane, and Ryder's not a big name, but the thing with Ryder gave her a lot of FaceTime with John Laurinaitis and John Cena, and John Cena, whether we like it or not, is the golden boy, so if you have FaceTime with John Cena, it puts you well above the Divas division, which gets no respect whatsoever to begin with. AJ, what can I say? She's been the deciding factor in the WWE title picture for about 3 months now. Really, what else can you say? And these are the only 2 that have developed a character beyond, okay, you and you are having a match tonight. Love Layla, love the job she's doing as champion. I would love to see her have some legitimate competition and some new competitors, because really all she's done is get herself into a lot of Divas tag matches like we just saw at Money in the Bank, or have this ongoing thing with Beth Phoenix, which is getting old. And if they're not going to put the belt on Beth Phoenix, they need to give Layla some new competition. So this is why I say Layla, Eve, and AJ. Even if Layla wins, she will absorb credibility from these two women that have absorbed credibility from the WWE main event title picture. Everybody wins. Next, and oh no, sorry, that's not next. Our Boom defending the tag team championships against Kid and Gabriel. Now, Kid and Gabriel have not had any spectacular outbursts yet that would earn them a WWE Tag Team Championship match. What I would do in this case, because the last #1 contenders were the Primetime Players, who just got owned convincingly on Raw, which was kind of sad. So now nobody really has a claim to stake at that next championship title shot. So what I would do on Raw or SmackDown leading up to SummerSlam would be some kind of fatal four-way match between Epico and Primo, the Primetime Players, Hawkins and Rex, and Kid and Gabriel. Have them win even in such a way that makes it look like it was a fluke. Hey, these guys are lucky to be here, da-da-da-da-da. I don't even think I would necessarily have them win. Give them the pay-per-view time, let them show what they could do, and maybe it could lead on to something good down the road. Moving on. Here we have the one that was teased on Raw this past week. Ziggler and Jericho. Now, for one thing, Ziggler and Jericho, their in-ring work, what else can I say? Yes, Ziggler has become, the designated main event jobber, but why is that? Really, really, why is that? He's a great jobber because he puts his opponents over so well. The fact that he is so good is at this point working against him, and that's sad, isn't it? He's got the Money in the Bank briefcase now, which is awesome. Him and Jericho are there's so much cockiness and arrogance between them that the psychology alone would be brilliant. The match would be brilliant. What else can you say? It would be another one of those sort of old lion, young lion, passing the torch kind of stories, and that would be nice, especially if we gave Ziggler the win. If you want to put his newly won Money in the Bank case on the line just because he's being that show-off-ish, it wouldn't hurt my feelings at all. Personally, I don't think it would need a stipulation like that, but it could go either way. It would be a great match no matter what. Now, here's another one that people I know disagree with me on. Miz versus Daniel Bryan. For a lot of reasons. Miz needs to look great on his comeback, because he's my boy, and I like him. And I know he's shown a lot of aggression since he's become WWE's bitch. Ever since WrestleMania, where he made the deciding victory in the big, whatever it was, 7-on-7 match, and won John Laurinaitis his job, he became the bitch. Losing to Brodus Clay, losing to, Santino, losing to all the jobbers and trying to put the jobbers over. He's come back now from a 2 or 3 month hiatus, making this video for WWE Films. He needs to come back strong. There's no real way that you can come back any stronger than feuding with somebody that most recently was the #1 contender for the WWE Championship. Daniel Bryan, yeah, everybody thinks, oh, Daniel Bryan should be doing something better. He shouldn't leave the title picture, whatever. He should go fight with Christian or whatever. I don't want Daniel Bryan to be one of those guys that just sort of gets shoveled around. Okay, he couldn't get his world title back, so he tried for the WWE title. Okay, he tried for the WWE title, now he's going to go for the Intercontinental title. He's going to loop all the way back around to being the U.S. champion again? I don't want to see him just being a hopper from belt to belt. I want him to establish some legitimate feuds. And here's the other point about this. These guys have an unresolved story. They had the whole relationship through NXT. They had the whole relationship on Raw where Miz kind of Bryan, where Daniel Bryan broke away from The Miz and did so by lashing out at The Miz, and they had a couple of matches where Daniel Bryan got his fluke victories, etc., etc. Then they didn't see each other forever and ever and ever, and then Miz showed up on SmackDown one night and started kissing ass to Bryan, which didn't work, and then they haven't seen each other forever and ever and ever again. The story has never really had a cap. So as far as Miz gaining some credibility, Daniel Bryan having a story ready and waiting for him, this could work out quite well, even if it's only a one-off match. Miz versus Daniel Bryan. Oh yes, oh yes. And it'll put me at direct odds with Alex. And that'll be fun. Anyways, Alberto Del Rio versus Rey. Now, if we don't know that this is coming down the pipe after Rey's comeback on Raw where he attacked Alberto, Yeah, it's coming. There's people out there that are ecstatic about Ray's return, like Preston. Happy for you, bud. Like I say, your markout video made it onto No DQ. Good for you. Not everybody is excited about Ray's return as other people would like them to be. I'm kind of mixed. I don't think he should come back and be, you know, one of the main events as soon as he comes back, but that's just me. Alberto Del Rio versus Ray. Alberto Del Rio, obviously, they're not going to put the World Heavyweight Championship on. So if they were to move him on to another established main eventer like Rey Mysterio, I wouldn't have a problem one bit. I'm pretty sure he would mesh with Rey Mysterio a hell of a lot better in the ring than Sheamus. Because, I mean, you go into a match with Sheamus, you might as well be having a match with a Rock. Because that's how much Sheamus brings to the table. Oh, yes. Alberto Del Rio versus Ray, the styles would complement each other. There's already a built-in story there. And what else do you really need to say, quite honestly? Orton versus Cena. That's right. We've seen it a million times. We will probably see it a million more times. But Orton versus Cena is on my list. Why? Because I want Orton to come in, cut a promo on Cena, and say, look, you haven't had the title in a while, and that's what you've been bitching about. And for the record, I'm hoping this happens after this coming week's Raw 1000, and I hope Cena does not win the title, so I'm hoping against hope there. So he's going to go in, he's going to attempt for the title, he's going to lose, and then he's going to be all bitchy and moany about it and whatever, and then Orton's going to come and cut him off. You know, you bitch and moan about how you haven't had a title in a little while. Look how long it's been since I've been in the title picture. Look what I've done. I've gone and I've dug my hands deep into the new talent. I've worked with every new name we have in this company. When was the last time you had to work that hard for anything? I'm going to make you work hard at SummerSlam. I challenge you to a match at SummerSlam. That's the story there. The two guys, Cena, who is overpushed, and Orton, who gets accused all the time of being overpushed, one-on-one, one more time. What else do I need to say? Sheamus versus Barrett. How would I bring this one together? A, I don't want Sheamus to be the champion anymore, period. I mean, the title already doesn't mean much, and it's losing value by the day that that Sheamus has it. I would have Sheamus come out maybe a week or two before SummerSlam and say, hey, I just disposed of Alberto Del Rio, ha 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 ha. Looks like nobody here in SmackDown can challenge me. And then we have the triumphant return of Wade Barrett, who would go on and on and on in a promo of more of his style about the Barrett Barrage and how the Barrett Barrage is going to run roughshod over the WWE Heavyweight Champion at SummerSlam. He would challenge Sheamus. It would go, it would go ahead through SummerSlam. Hopefully Barrett would win. Hopefully we'd see Sheamus get the Wasteland and he can go back to Triple H's gym and hang out as much as he wants. Moving on. Rock versus Punk. Oh yes. Oh yes. What I would love to see, and this goes from Raw 1000 right through to SummerSlam. John Cena is cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase this coming Monday at Raw 1000. The Rock comes in. The Rock costs John Cena his match. Punk retains the title. Rock comes out the next week, challenges Punk, basically gets in his face and says the only reason John Cena's not wearing that belt right now is because I helped you, you owe me, da-da-da-da-da, pull off an extremely great heel promo like we know The Rock can do. CM Punk would of course accept because CM Punk is the man, sorry John Cena, but it's true, and that would be it. Then you'd have amazing promos between now and SummerSlam between The Rock and CM Punk. What more could you ask for? And the last one is the one we already know about, which is Triple H versus Lesnar, which is going to be big jacked up wrestler guy versus big jacked up UFC guy. And, you know, he's either going to put Triple H on the shelf again, or they're going to use this as a way to mock the UFC, and Triple H is going to go at it, take out Brock Lesnar with no particular problems whatsoever. Either way, my caring for this match is really, really dwindling. But it's already there. I couldn't do anything else with these two guys because they are already set in a match at SummerSlam. And yeah, that's how it goes, guys. That is my fantasy SummerSlam 2012 card. Show versus Clay, Christian versus Tensai, Cody versus Santino, Eve versus AJ versus Layla, R-Boom versus Gabriel and Kid, Ziggler versus Jericho, Miz versus Bryan, Alberto Del Rio versus Rey Mysterio, Orton versus Cena, Sheamus versus Barrett, Rock versus Punk, and Triple H versus Lesnar. Yes, I'm aware that there's way much more on this fantasy card than you could ever fit into an actual WWE card. I'm aware of that. In my imagination, there are no time limits, so deal with it. This is a lot of fun. You can't tell me if this card didn't or if this card did happen, that it wouldn't be an entertaining card. It might not necessarily be what you guys out there want. I would love this card. That's why it's my fantasy card. That's it. I'm done. I've been Spaz, your YWC reality check. Subscribe up there, talk down there, start a conversation. Let me know what you think. Keep this conversation going. Don't be a stranger, and I will talk to each and every last one of you later. Right now, I'm tagging out. Bye, guys.